Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter Arizona. My name is Denny Neal and I am one of your co-hosts for today's show. And we just have a really good show today, a chance to have someone on we haven't had before, a subject we haven't talked about before. Before we get into that, of course, I got to introduce my partner in crime, the guy known in Flagstaff simply as the coach. He's out there on that state championship run and just doing big things. So, hey, got to bring the guy on. Good morning, coach. How you doing this morning, man?
Good morning, Coach. I got
Oh,
a
he
state
man,
championship run cut short last night, but we'll get on another one. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. You ain't had to come on with that bitter face, man. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. So, you talking about last night? You give us a little rundown, coach.
So we playing in the open state championship division, and so what that is this year, we explained a little bit. We had 32 teams make that bracket, and then we had won our first game against Mountain Ridge, a 6A school up here in Flagstaff. We advanced to the second round where we played Pinnacle last night. We went on the road to play Pinnacle, and it looks on paper they're a mirror image of us, and a little bit taller in some positions, but they like to get after defensively. They like to space the floor. They dribble, drive, kick, and they shoot the ball. And so, I was expecting it to be a very good and competitive game, and we got beat by like 20. So
It was a competitive game, man. So, but that's all right. I mean, it was a good night. The Coconino girls won. They were down to St. Mary's and came up with the win. So they move on to the bracket play of the state tournament. Coconino boys also made it. They played tonight. So we're asking everybody to just come out and support Coconino High School boys tonight as they start their state run too. We're Flag High, but we still really, really are rooting for the Coconino boys, the Coconino girls to make a long run through, and all of us can just make Flagstaff proud.
exactly. At this point in the year, it's not necessarily about Flag and
Right.
Coco as competitors against each other. It's about Flagstaff, and it's about coming out and supporting the local kids and really getting behind them. And, again, shout out to the Coco boys. I have reached out just to different coaches across the city to come out and support us in our first round game. And then I talked to Coach Jackson. I told her, hey, tell Ivory to get them boys out and, tell the Coconino boys to come out and support the Flag girls and push them through. And boy, it did my heart some good to look up and see Ivory and some of his teammates, you know what I mean?
That's
And I
right.
say, we definitely going to return that love tonight, and we're going to get out there and support them. And they got an opponent that they played in Pepsi, and it was a close game. And so, we're going to be there to help support them and push them over the hump. And again, congratulations to Coach Cassie and her crew and getting that win last night against St. Mary's and getting into the state playoff bracket. And so now it's time for us as Flagstaff to go out here and make some noise and really show and compete and advance in the bracket and show people what Northern Arizona basketball is about. For us on the girls' side, we were the only team in Northern Arizona to make the open division for the girls. And then girls or boys, we were the only team to make it into the second round. And so, we really want to represent Flagstaff well, and we want to support the other schools and have everybody in this 4A championship push forward. And let's go as far as we can. Somebody bring back a state title.
That's right, man. That's right. And now we have softball coming up, baseball coming up, track and fields coming up. What other sports? Oh, volleyball, sand volleyballs starting up. So man, there's just a lot of activity, a lot of good things for the youth and Flagstaff going on right now, and we want to keep it going. So right quick, so everybody knows, when do you play? When does Coconino play right now? Can you give us that?
So as you said, the boys play tonight,
Mm-hmm.
and they play in game. So I believe that's 7 o'clock at Coconino. So get out there and support that. The girls, the selection show is on Saturday. That'll show everybody where they officially seeded. And then after that, the first games are on Wednesday, the 15th. We'll be ranked high enough to where we can host a game. Look, from my projections, Coconino will be on the road, but we'll both play on Wednesday.
All right. Well, that sounds good, man. We just got a lot of good things going on, and any of those sports, anything that wants to come on, talk about it, give us a holler, man. You guys see us all around town, and we'll definitely get you on. And also, if you like what we're doing, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. And we also go live. Am I right, Coach? Where you can come in and hit us with a comment, questions for our guests, whatever the case is. So please, let's get in here and interact with each other and tell us how we're doing. But yes,
Coach,
sir. Yes,
real
sir.
quick, man. Why
Yes,
you
sir.
in the dark? Turn
Am I in
around
the
and flip
dark,
your light
man?
on.
Hey, man, I
You ain't
got
got no
like,
better light than that, man. Turn around and flip your light on or something, man. Come on.
no, man. I think I look good. I don't care.
Hey, and look, I'm talking about your lighting, and then people may be like, why in the world is he in a vest and all that? You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I just wanted to make sure I was ready for the guest that we got in today. You know what I mean? To let them know that I'm acclimated. I'm knowledgeable about different sports and
We
activities
go
in
see.
Flagstaff.
We are going to see. So I am glad that's a good segue into our guest. Today, we have someone who, for me, I'm definitely going to get smarter today. I was online checking her out and reading all the stuff she's doing, and I'm like, I am so lost right now. But we are excited to have someone from the ski community, and that is Charlie Boyer. Good morning, Charlie. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
I'm doing great too. And I was gonna talk about the Nordic and the Alpine, and I didn't want to mess anything up. So, and I know Coach, he's an avid skier, let him tell it and all that. But we just really want you to, first of all, tell us about yourself. A little bio on you.
Yeah, for sure. So my name's Charlie Boyer. I was born and raised in Flagstaff, Arizona. I went to Flag High, and I grew up ski racing with the Flagstaff ski and snowboard team. I started on the team around 7 years old, worked my way up and competed competitively in the race, Alpine race side of the team. That entailed traveling to New Mexico, Colorado for events. I raced until college. I went to NAU. I got my first degree at NAU, and I shortly after started coaching for the Flagstaff Alpine ski and snowboard team. And I have been coaching. This is I want to say my 13th year with the team coaching. To go back to school at NAU and got my second degree. I'm an ER nurse, so I work part-time in the emergency department. And this is my second year as the Alpine director. So what that entails is I oversee pretty much all the on-mountain activities, organizing the coaching staff, working with all the kids up on the mountain. And just a little background as far as what the Flagstaff Ski and Snowboard Club is, it's a nonprofit organization for youth skiing and snowboarding. We have athletes aging from 6 years old to 18 years old. So wide range of ages there and abilities. And it's a really great program. This year we have 190 athletes on the team. So pretty awesome. We've had some really good seasons. Yeah. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. Coach, you have anything?
So yeah, when you talk about Alpine skiing and everything, can you get into it a little bit? Because somebody like Coach Neal may think that you doing cross country skiing when you doing Alpine skiing. So let us know kind of the difference between some of the skiing that you teach.
Yeah, totally. And so we are a ski and snowboard program. So we have both sides. We do not do the Nordic side of skiing. That's the Nordic Center has their own program, but we're up on the mountain. So we work with Snowbowl. We don't work for Snowbowl, but we are fortunate enough to use the mountain and be able to utilize that training space. So Alpine skiing is downhill skiing. So if you think about going fast downhill, and we also have freestyle skiing, which is more of the tricks of the park. So doing, going off jumps and doing the rails or the boxes. And they also do some big mountain skiing. So skiing moguls or bumps, some people call that. And then our snowboard team, they obviously are snowboarders and they do racing as well as some of that freestyle stuff as well. So we have a kind of a wide variety of what we offer with the team and what the athletes, what their interests are and where they end up in which group they're interested in. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So is the Alpine skiing, like when we watch the Winter Olympics and all that type of stuff, is that where we going and you hitting like the flags? Is that the slalom? What is it?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great question. So there are just different disciplines within Alpine skiing. We have our GS. So it's based off of speed. So you have downhill, which is really fast. The gates are really spread apart. Those are the flags you're talking about. Super G is the one below downhill. So they're still pretty fast skiing. And then there's GS, and then slalom is the one that they're actually, I'm not sure if you've seen the videos, but they're actually hitting the gates. And those are quick turns. And that's a little bit more of a technical side of that race side of things. So there are 4 different events. And the snowboard side, they also do racing and they compete within different divisions as well.
So with the snowboard side, when you talk about they compete, now you in the say Olympics and stuff like that, we see, I don't know what it is. It kind of got like the little like almost like
the half pipe.
Half pipe. Do they do that, or is it more just going downhill again and hitting different marks?
So they do both. Some of the kids are interested in the park, which was like what you're talking about, the half pipe. We don't have a half pipe at Snowbowl, but they do have terrain parks is what they call them, with the jumps, and they'll have different features, boxes, rails that the kids practice on, and then they have competitions. And so they'll have like a rail where they go and they're actually judged based on their tricks. And then they also compete in the racing with the gates as well. So lots of different aspects to their side of things as well.
And when you're talking about the slalom and all that, how fast do they actually be going down that hill?
Yeah, so slalom is a little bit slower. It's just that's the one where they're hitting the gates and the gates are a lot closer together. So that one is, they're not getting super fast as far as that goes. But then if you work, you work your way up. Some of our kids competed in a downhill last month up in Aspen, Colorado. And, those kids are getting up to, 60 miles an hour. So it's pretty cool. And it is fast and a lot of fun.
Sorry. No, you had a competition last week. They had races last week. How'd that go? What categories did you have? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we are part of the Rocky Mountain Division, which is the United States Ski and Snowboard Association is who it's the organization that we are under. And we are within the Rocky Mountain Division. And then below that we have a division called the Southern Series Division, and that's the Southern clubs. So Flagstaff, we have Durango Winter Sports Club, Taos, New Mexico, Angel Fire, New Mexico, Los Alamos, New Mexico, and I think I'm forgetting one, Wolf Creek, Colorado. So we're all within the Southern Series, and we travel to races and then have a race in Flagstaff. So last weekend was our Southern Series slalom. So New Mexico and Colorado were actually here in Flagstaff. We had a great turnout. We had around 130 kids racing both Saturday and Sunday, and that was a slalom race. And we previously in January had been in Purgatory for, they hosted a Super G and a GS, and we will head back to Purgatory in March for the championships. So we have points based off of that division, and each athletes can win points, and then as a team we earn points, and based off of that you can earn the trophy for your team based on the points for the season. So, but yeah, it went really well. We had a great the race went really well. We actually got the teams done early on Sunday. They got on the road because it's a big thing. We got to drive quite a distance most of these races. So I think everybody was happy and had a good time.
And what is the season for all of this? I know it depends a lot on the snow, but what is a typical season from what month to what month?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually in the past before, we have snowmaking now, which makes it our season a lot more consistent. We usually get up on the mountain early December, late November, early December is when our season starts. And we actually have kids that will travel early season sometimes to different areas to do training. And then the season runs from November until April. So our last day is usually the second weekend of April. And throughout that season, there's quite a bit of travel to different areas. So,
And when we think about like skiing, snowboarding, hockey, we think, is more for the affluent community. Are there any opportunities for, people that may not be a part of the affluent community? Do you have scholarships? I mean, how does it really work in order to really be part of the teams that you coach?
yeah, that's another great question. So we have a great scholarship program, and we are trying so hard to get anyone and everyone who wants to be involved. The Oktoberfest, I don't know if you guys are aware of that event that goes on. Jen Grogan puts that on. She is amazing. And she has donated the last couple of years. All that money goes towards our scholarship foundation. And so we were able to, I want to say I think we have around probably 20 kids on scholarship this season. And we actually had some leftover, scholarship funds. So we are just trying to get out in the community and just let people, be aware of this program and these opportunities. And again, we want any kid that wants to come up and try skiing. We have the resources if they aren't able to get the equipment, or they have an issue getting up on the mountain, anything like that. We are kind of we would love to work with them to be able to get those resources. So I think it's a really cool program. We're still trying to grow that scholarship program. Several of our board members have donated to the scholarship fund as well, just wanting to get more athletes on the team. So if anyone is interested in that, that is a great option, and we welcome anybody coming up and checking it out and seeing if it's something they would be interested in.
Okay, you said you had some, excuse me, scholarship dollars left over. So I know that's mostly for youth, but say somebody like Coach Johnson, if he wanted to do that, do you have ski shoes size 15s that can fit him, or would he have to just put wax under the bottom of his shoes and you send him down the slope?
Yeah, I think the second option would be not a bad idea. But we would love to have you guys both come up and come hang out with us.
Charlie, we might have to take you up on that, because I would almost pay money to see Coach Neal get on some skis and go downhill. Even if it's the bunny hill, I'd almost pay money to see that. So we might have to take you up on that one.
You gonna pay the doctor bill too?
Oh no, I ain't doing all that.
Hey man, I can't even walk on the
card.
ice. I can't even walk on the ice outside. So why am I gonna go up there, put on some sticks, put some wax under the bottom so I go faster, and then go downhill?
So I can get some giggles.
Well, Charlie, we're gonna have you help coach, because I mean,
yeah,
he's an athlete. I think he's been up there before. My problem was just, do you have ski shoes that size? And obviously
we could probably find some.
The skis don't look that size.
I have been up to the Snow Bowl, but typically when I go up to the Snow Bowl, it's in the summertime when you get to lift and then you can walk around. So I honestly, I've never been on the mountain skiing, never put on any snowboard equipment, or barely even skated in my lifetime. And so for us, like that winter sports, because I played basketball, it was like, no, you got to stay off of the mountain. Can you talk a little bit about the safety that is in there? You hear stories of people skiing, hitting a tree or this, that, and the other, and it keeps people away. But how safe is the sport truly?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different variables, obviously, up on the mountain, and I think that's something that I don't always, since I've done it for so long, I don't always recognize when you break it down. There's the chairlift, which is a huge safety risk, especially with those little kids. You know, we have 6 and 7-year-olds that are riding the lift every day and pretty significant heights off the ground. So we have a program that we have to have, you know, 6 and 7-year-olds have to ride the lift with a coach at all times. They have to be with an adult. The safety bar on the lift needs to be down. We talk to the kids and all the coaches all the time about, you know, being safe on the chairlift, not messing around. You know, it's something that we take very seriously. We have the opportunity to be up on the mountain early. Snowball's allowed us to do 7:30 lift load before the general public gets on. So that gives us time without everyone on the mountain. We get some great training, hill space. But again, there's snow cats that are up there doing grooming. There's snowmobiles that are up there. So we just are very conscientious of, you know, we wear bright neon bibs in the morning so that all the kids can be seen, all the coaches are able to be visible. And just if there's any sort of machinery on the hill, all the kids and coaches know you got to stop and you got to wait. And because there are a lot of, you know, it is a huge safety risk as that goes. As far as our training, we have safety nets that we put up for all of our events. They're just these, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're red. They're called B-net, and we put them all the way down the course. So if anyone skis off the course, those nets will protect them from going into the trees. That's the idea. You know, and just all of our coaches are really well trained on. I always carry a dispatch radio, which I can get into contact with ski patrol at any time on the mountain. So, you know, we have any injuries or any general public are injured, anything like that, the coaches can get a hold of me on my radio and I can call in ski patrol, and ski patrol is up on right away. So we do have a lot of safety protocols in place, and obviously stuff happens, but you know, for the most part, you know, it's a pretty, knock on wood, pretty safe sport as far as that goes. So
nice. And you said you have about 190 athletes participating this year.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. How many coaches do you have, and do you all practice at once, or do you have to divide it up because of, you know, so many kids or so many athletes in the program?
Yeah, so we offer Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday training. So Wednesday and Friday are half days because a lot of the kids will get out of school early on those days. So that's from 1 to 4. And then we have Saturday, Sunday program, which is our 7:30 to 2:30 program. And again, that's kind of staggered because some kids come up for early lift load and then some kids come up later. I have around 37 coaches. And again, they coach on different days. A lot of these coaches are, you know, they're going to school or they're working other jobs. Obviously, we all know it's hard to have just one job living in Flagstaff. So they're balancing, you know, other things going on. So we're really grateful for their time, but they do usually, most of them will coach 1 or 2 days a week. So.
Okay, I got 2 questions for you right now. I'm getting greedy. The first question, I think you answered some of it, is living out here in Cheshire, Coconino State says we see the traffic going to the snowball. Get caught up in that traffic. How do you work? How does your group work with just the masses of people that come up there every day? How does that intertwine? How do you partner and get that straight?
Yeah, that has been a big issue for the past couple of years. We've just seen the numbers increase a lot, and which is great. It means more people are getting up there. But you know, Snowball, their management is great to work with. They are super supportive. We actually have because they do have to close the road just because they're at capacity. That's happened most of the last couple of weekends. They've actually had to close the road. But they're allowing us, you know, for the parents to drop the kids off. We get training space up there, so we are able to close off, rope off a run, and that way the kids are able to train on that area, and there's not a bunch of people everywhere. So that's kind of how we deal with it. The parents know they have to get up there really early on the weekend and get a parking spot, and but for the most part, it's been okay. And again, Snowball's been really, really helpful in letting us figure that out and making sure all our kids get up there.
Okay, and my second question is, you told us how long your season lasts. After April, when there's no more skiing, what do these kids do to stay in condition? I mean, for basketball, you got drills, you can go get in the gym, you can shoot and all that. Skiing is a different animal. How do they keep themselves in skiing shape in the off season?
So we do offer dryland training, which usually starts in the fall, and that's kind of just doing some physical prep before the ski season starts. A lot of these kids are playing a lot of different sports, though. Honestly, like a lot of kids come up and they come up and they'll train for a couple hours and they're going to a soccer game. So there are a lot of kids that are doing multiple sports, and usually a lot of times once the ski season ends, they'll do mountain biking in the summer, or they'll move on to a different sport. So that's what I would say the majority of our kids are doing.
Well,
So
we like those multi-sport.
what is your favorite sport when you were athleting, when you were competing? What was your favorite event or specialty? And then what's your favorite event to coach?
I really liked GS, which is kind of in between. It's not super fast, but it's not the slalom side of things. So I enjoy GS. I raced pretty competitively. My dad actually, when I got a little bit older, I think this is true in all sports, is as the kids get older, sometimes they start to phase out a little bit, and we see that a lot with skiing. It's expensive, it's a lot of time. So we're trying to find ways just to keep the kids involved, especially at that higher elite level of, skiing and snowboarding. And I think when I was traveling, when I got older with my dad, it was fun, but the social side wasn't there as much because there weren't, you weren't with all your teammates as much anymore. Everyone was kind of done racing. And so we're just trying to come up with ways to kind of keep the kids involved in the sport as they get a little bit older. And also hope, this is kind of sidetracked from this question you asked, but trying to get some of these kids that are going to go to NAU that have raced with the team to come back and coach. And they have a lot to offer because they've been there and they've raced and they know the team. And so that's kind of a program we're trying to work in as far as some of these kids just coming back to work for the team. So,
well, that's good. Well, Charlie, it's that time in the show where we ask, Coach Johnson has a special segment where he's going to ask you a question to give us a thought or your feelings on something. And this part of the show we like to call Coach Johnson's Golden Nugget of the Week. But we have to do it right. So now it's time for Coach Johnson's Golden Nugget question of the week. What is it, Coach?
All right. So you mentioned that you had a young athletes. You mentioned that there's some to go to college as far as like at NAU like you did and everything else. What does it take for one to make it to that level and to be successful at that level if they're aspiring to do that?
as far as to go on professionally and to race competitively or to snowboard competitively.
Yep, to do the competitive process. Yep.
Yeah, so it is a really difficult, it's difficult to get to that level. Ski racing and snowboarding, I don't know if you guys probably noticed, but it's not super popular in the United States. Europe, it's huge. They like live for skiing and snowboarding. So kids have the opportunity, they can go to, they can race NCAA in college, they can go race. This is the next level up. That's like the international racing circuit. But we have had a few athletes over the years that have gone and raced competitively in college. But to be honest, it is a big commitment, and there's not a lot of kids that go on and continue to be, that go to that elite level as far as Olympics and racing World Cup level. Pretty extensive, and it's very expensive.
Well, thank you. I got one question I just thought of. Can a skateboarder transition over to a snowboarder easily and vice versa?
I think so. I honestly am not good at snowboarding at all, but I think snowboarding is harder. But I would think so. It's very similar, like wakeboarding, skateboarding, snowboarding. It's pretty similar, I would say. But as far as doing the tricks and all that stuff, I mean, that's way above what I do. I give them all props for doing that because it's pretty cool.
And Charlie, before you go off, if people are interested, especially in your scholarship program, what's the best way to reach out and to get in touch?
Yeah, so we have a website. It's Flagstaff Ski and Snowboard Club.org. And there's a tab on there that says scholarships. There's also my contact information on there. Morgan Schindele, she is our business director. She's a great resource as well. But anyone would be happy to answer any of those questions. And again, we welcome anyone and everyone to come out and check out the program and see if it's something they would be interested in.
Awesome.
Well, Charlie, thank you so much for coming up. I definitely got smarter, and I'm serious about that. I've learned so much about it. Don't know if I'll be up there trying to ski at this age.
Oh yeah, you're gonna get up there and ski. We're gonna take her up on that.
Yeah, you guys got to come up. You let me know. I'll take you up there any day.
Okay, we're going to have to do that. And if you ever have anything that you want to get out there and want to come back on the show, whatever, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here.
So much. I appreciate you having me. It was great.
All right. Well, Coach, got good questions again, man. She kept telling you that's a great question. Me, she just like, oh yeah, man.
Coach, you had some very good questions. You know what I mean? You showing your intellect. I mean, that last question, boy, that should have been the one transitioning from a skateboarder to a snowboarder. That's like, whoa.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was deep, huh?
Yeah, that was.
All right, man. I know you got to go to work.
Yes, sir. I definitely do. I got some things to do, and then I got to get back to the lab and try and figure out a better practice plan so we can be successful as we move forward. So it's gonna be a big day. But again, like Coach said, if y'all like this, make sure you thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, share it with people, and always know that on the live segment you can throw in questions and chime in. But look, I don't know what everybody else got to do today, but I do know one thing: you ain't got to go home,
but you got to leave here